For hundreds of years, nobody dared to climb Mount Kambara.
The village buried every dead newborn with a sacred gold coin. But one baby came back 20 years later, carrying the same coin. Long ago, deep inside an ancient African kingdom surrounded by dark forests and endless rivers, there was a terrifying tradition. Every newborn child received a sacred gold coin from the village elders. People believed the coin carried the blessing of the ancestors and protected the child from evil spirits. But there was one rule nobody could break. If a baby died before the seventh night, the coin had to be buried with the child forever. One stormy evening, a young woman named Amara gave birth to a baby boy. Rain crashed against the huts. Thunder shook the sky. But only hours later, the baby suddenly stopped breathing. The elders declared him dead. Amara cried uncontrollably. She begged the villagers not to bury her son. "I can still feel his heartbeat," she whispered, but nobody listened. Before sunrise, the elders wrapped the tiny baby in white cloth, placed the sacred gold coin beside him, and buried him deep in the forest cemetery. That night, while the entire village slept, Amara heard something impossible, a baby crying, coming from the forest. And when she looked outside her hut, she saw footprints in the mud leading away from the grave. At sunrise, terrified villagers rushed toward the cemetery. But when they opened the grave, the baby was gone. Only the gold coin's empty cloth remained. Fear spread through the kingdom like fire. Some villagers believed evil spirits had stolen the child. Others whispered that the ancestors were angry. From that day forward, the forest became cursed in people's eyes. Nobody dared enter it after sunset. But Amara never believed her son was dead. Every evening for 20 years, she waited outside her hut staring into the jungle. Villagers laughed at her. "Dead children never return," they said. Years passed. The kingdom changed. The old elders became weak and gray-haired. Then one evening, a wounded young warrior suddenly appeared at the village gates. His body was covered in scars. His eyes looked cold and fearless. But hanging around his neck was a sacred gold coin, the same coin buried with Amara's baby. The entire village froze in silence. And then the warrior spoke one word that changed everything forever. "Mother!" Amara's hands began shaking. Tears filled her eyes as she stepped closer to the warrior. The elders stared at the gold coin in horror. It was impossible. The warrior slowly revealed the truth. That stormy night, after the villagers buried him alive, a wandering healer passing through the forest heard faint cries beneath the ground. The healer dug through the mud and rescued the baby moments before death. Fearing the villagers would take the child back, the healer disappeared deep into the jungle and raised him as his own son. The boy grew into a fearless warrior. He learned survival, honor, courage. Before dying, the old healer finally told him the truth about his past and returned the sacred gold coin buried beside him as a baby. So after 20 years, the warrior returned home searching for the mother who never stopped loving him. The village elders fell to their knees in shame because they realized something horrifying. Their fear had almost killed an innocent child. That night, the entire village gathered beneath the stars. Nobody spoke. Amara held her son tightly as tears rolled down her face. For 20 years, she had prayed for this moment. The warrior looked at the elders and said softly, "You buried me because you trusted fear more than love." The old chief lowered his head in shame. The next morning, the sacred tradition ended forever. No child would ever again be buried because of blind beliefs. And from that day on, the kingdom remembered one lesson above all others. Sometimes old traditions can silence the truth, but a mother's love can hear what the whole world ignores.